on the northeast side of Indianapolis, and in fact, I'm right here at the intersection or the exit for I-69, 82nd Street, and we're going to talk about the cities north of Indianapolis: Carmel, Fishers, Westfield, Noblesville, mainly Carmel and Fishers, and the fact that they've had a terrible reputation for traffic over the years. Now, some of that reputation is from Northsiders who actually live there, but a lot of the reputation is from people that live in different parts of the whole Indy Metro, like the South Side, let's say. If you talk to somebody who has grown up on the South Side, lived on the South Side, and that you hear something about the North Side, it's usually not good when it comes to traffic. Now, the situation for traffic has changed so dramatically over the past 10 and 15 years that reputation, it's really not fair anymore. And the attitude about traffic on the north side, it's really something that should be changed. So while it's, I wouldn't say totally congested, but there's a lot of people and there's a lot of cars, but the way that they move and flow has changed a ton. And that's because of some of the stuff that you see right here behind me. It's because of construction and some of the construction projects. Now today, I'm gonna actually drive into 3 of the major areas for some of the biggest projects that have happened over the years, like Keystone Parkway and all of the interchanges right along that. Along with US31. State Road 37 over in Fishers going into Noblesville. Every intersection was a stoplight. Every intersection, of course, caused problems whenever the traffic was fairly heavy, so at least in the morning and at least in the evening and sometimes other parts of the day. These 3 major north-south thoroughfares have worked beautifully over the years. This is Main Street. If I go straight to the west behind me, I get right over into downtown Carmel and the high school, and you can see the roundabout structure here right behind me. And then of course Keystone Parkway, looking north that way behind the camera and looking south down towards Indianapolis, actually on Keystone. This used to be a stoplight. Now you're going to find very few traffic signals or stoplights, whatever you want to call them, and mostly these overpasses with roundabout structures going through. So while the traffic might just bunch up a little bit at one of these roundabouts, there's a tiny line of traffic at the roundabout. Now it's moving now. It doesn't last very long, and the bunch itself really isn't all that big. Just walked over the intersection of US31 and right here along Main Street again, 131st Street. The improvements along US31, they absolutely cannot be understated. This used to be a stoplight. US31 used to be much narrower. There's no way around it. It was absolutely horrible at one time. Now going through some of these changes, these accommodations for a growing population, it's painful. It really does hurt. It's okay so far on my end. It's southbound. Spontaneously is terrible. But the truth is, if you didn't make these changes for the growing population of Fishers, Carmel, Greenwood, Greenfield, or any of these cities and towns that surround Indy that are really growing, the pain would be 20 times worse. And there are some cities, of course, across the United States that are exploding and growing, and their infrastructure just isn't keeping up. Now this road's not too bad, but you will hear people complain about how terrible the roads are in Indy. I'm not sure that's completely true all the way through. In fact, I know it's not. and I'm sure that's something you could probably say about a lot of cities. I'm sure you've probably seen this meme before here about roads being built in Rome and compared to the roads built by the Indiana Department of Transportation. Let me know in the comments if you haven't seen it, and also let me know if you have. But it's not exactly the best comparison because, for one, Rome, their weather conditions throughout the entire year certainly aren't like Indianapolis or a lot of the Midwest. A lot of places where you're going to struggle a little bit with road conditions. Not that way. And of course, when the road conditions are rough, it requires improvements, and that means orange cones, orange barrels, and a little bit of traffic, and you have to get through it. But our winters are so much more harsh than what you have in Rome. The climate there is just much warmer. They don't have a whole lot of freezing and thawing to deal with, or exceptionally extreme heat. Not that we really have that, but you can have some of that in some of the country, and that can hurt the roads too. But also, the one factor it seems like a lot of people really don't talk about is the millions and millions of pounds of traffic that some of these roads, not all of them, but some of these roads experience every single day, and the pounding that they all take. That's rough. State Road 37, going up through Fishers and into Noblesville, used to be a total nightmare, where you would go north on I-69 and split off onto State Road 37 to keep going north as Fishers exploded, and as Noblesville grew too, it was just way too much traffic for that road and all the stoplights. But the improvements there, even though dramatic, they're not finished yet. So again, another thing to date this video, when I'm standing here at State Road 37 and the intersection of it and 141st Street, and right behind me, you can't even cross State Road 37. There's a barricade right here. This was supposed to be an intersection that looked like 131st and 126th Street. So as you go north, you would go under this intersection, and then it would be roundabouts going over the top of this. Those intersections work so well now. It used to just be stoplights as soon as you got off at 69 and State Road 37 going north anytime you hit a rush hour time period during the day. But when COVID hit, bids just got too incredibly high, and that's when a lot of that construction was going on. So Fisher shelved this project. Here comes a loud truck. He's got to take a right. He's got to go south. He has no other option. Inconvenient. I've been caught in this thing a couple of times, and now I know better, and I try to avoid it. Except for today, I'm at this speedway, and got to get some gas. So this is slated to begin, hopefully, in 2024. That's when the new bid for the construction scope and price will actually come out. And if you're watching this again, way off in the future, hopefully this is another one of those accommodations or improvements that you're gonna see along one of these major thoroughfares. Here's something that's really gonna date this video. Allisonville Road and 146th Street right behind me, very busy. White River and the bridge from where I'm standing in Fishers going back to the west. You can get back over into Carmel, but this is no longer gonna give you a stoplight. It'll be an overpass on 146th Street, and Allisonville Road will go under it. So if you're watching this video in the summer of 2025, maybe it'll be complete by then. But do you think there'll be a little bit of pain on its way to summer of 2025? Yeah. It really is crazy how much the cities north of Indianapolis have grown. But the changes to accommodate the growth, while painful going through them, they've really been quite good. But as the years go by, there will be more painful changes to accommodate more growth. You really aren't going to be able to avoid it. So it may be something that you're used to already, wherever you live now, and the changes that are going on there might be more than what we have here. And then again, it might be a lot more than what you're used to if you come from a place that's much smaller and quieter, and you don't have as much construction or changes happening or a big influx in the population. So if you have questions at all about how any of these changes could affect you, what they might be like, then make sure that you reach out. All the contact information is in the description below, and we'll catch you in the next one.